Hi, I'm Chad Liebarger with the Liebarger team at Remax Full House in Strasbourg, and this is the Real Estate and Real People podcast. My goal with this podcast is to get everybody in the community involved, where I'm able to go and speak with people and talk with people and help advertise their companies, ask them why they came out to our area on the I-70 corridor, how long they've been out here, if they're multi-generational, what businesses do they do, contractors, roofers, thrift stores, coffee shops. My goal is to try and to get to know everybody that I can in my community, and hopefully in some way in the future help them with their real estate needs. But even without doing anything in real estate with them, I still want to get to know them. I want to be able to know who is my neighbor, who I'm, working with down the street. What businesses do they want to do in the future? What's their goal? What are their dreams? What's the craziest story of, what they've had happen in their businesses? I guess, at the end of the day, it all comes down to wanting to build a better sense of community out here. It seems like, there's a lot of new people moving out here, and there's so many businesses that get overlooked because we're only 20-25 minutes away from Aurora and stuff, but we're growing fast. There's so many people out here that I want to be able to come to us for not just information in real estate, but to ask us, hey, do you got a roofer? Do you got a concrete guy? Do they do good work? Are they affordable? What else can people really look forward to on a day-to-day basis than getting help from your neighbors? There's so many things that I want everybody to enjoy, and community is big. I know that there's rivalries between towns and there's other ways for people to get this information, but my goal is to give everybody a platform. Speak your truth, tell me what you're doing, enjoy your life. So I think the basis of this first episode is going to be what I've been doing. How I do business, what my standard kind of questions are that I'm going to be using with people. And I think that, I'm going to interview myself at this rate. And I think it's going to work out to where I can join in with other people. My goal is to go out to where these people are. If I'm out talking with a roofer or a contractor, I want to be out with them in the world. I've got the microphone set up. I've got the camera set up. We're ready to get to know everybody. And, I think it's a good starting point to start with myself. So some of the questions I like to ask people are, the way that I have this set up is where I can hand these people these questions so they have, I don't want, I want to keep an authentic conversation, but I don't want to blindside people with anything. I'd rather you understand what I'm trying to build here versus just get stutter stepped like happens from normal people from time to time. So one of the things I'll ask them, how'd you get started in your job? Well, my mom is a real estate agent. She's been a real estate agent for most of my life. Before that, she was working in title, and her goal was, wow, I can do this so much better than the real estate agents. She knew all the contracts, she knew what she was doing, so she jumped in it. And I was able to go to college because of it. I was able to, live my life the way I wanted, but I came back to real estate because I wanted that same feeling. I wanted to help families. I wanted to be able to give them information on that first purchase that, they're trying to get. And it's really big when you can help somebody sell their house, buy a house, help their cousins, help their family. My mom has helped multi-generational families with this kind of stuff. She's helped people move 4 or 5 times. She's helped people move out of state. It's awesome to be able to watch her do her business, and I want to be able to keep that going as my company grows in the future. So I got started because of her, and it just took off for me. I'm doing well. I am able to, keep my house afloat. I'm able to do what I want with my family, and I'm able to take time off when I need to take time off. It's been a great business for me, and it's kept me happy for most of it. Another question I'll ask is, what made you choose this community to do business in? Or why are you out here? Why did you move out here? There's some people I plan on talking to that have had a business out here for 30, 40 years. There's people who have handed down businesses to their kids. So why did you guys choose Strasburg? Well, maybe it's just the convenience of them living out here. I moved back out to Strasburg after living around Colorado in a couple different places. I moved back out here in 2020 to continue my business. And I also found my wife out here, and we got married, have a son. I've got 2 little boys now. So one of them's 7, one of them's 2. And it's just awesome to be able to bring them back and experience this community in an essence of what I grew up in. Things change, times change, people change. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to have that community, and I want my kids to be able to have that community so that when they get older, maybe when it's time, they move back. And that's another reason why I want to be able to talk with people and, know everybody that I can, so that we can all work together to make our towns, make this whole big community that we have a better place. Another question that I'll ask is, what's something people might not realize about your business? Real estate's hard. Real estate is not easy. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. It takes you away from your family more than you think. Getting late phone calls, checking on houses, dealing with different outcomes that could be a possibility, or that are leading down towards that possibility, making sure that you have a great team to work with, making sure that you keep everything in balance, you keep all your documents, you keep everything in order, and you're able to do is difficult. It's people think that it's all glory because you see all the big time agents making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but you don't see those big time agents working their butts off. There's so many statistics out there right now for real estate, and I'm hoping to provide some, maybe in some of the episodes, when I don't have somebody, or just giving you some market updates and stuff. But I want to be able to provide you guys with some information on real estate as well. So that's what's going to be driving our community here in the future. In my business, with another question personally would just be, what do you enjoy most about serving the people you work with? And that's either helping them get out of a situation they don't want to be in, or helping them get into a situation where they can start growing. The plan is to help as many people as I can, whether it's volunteering time at a food bank or something like that, or getting buyers or sellers set up so that they can move into their next or first dream house. I really enjoy working through things with people, and even if the deal isn't exactly easy to handle, or the person has so many questions, it's helpful, because every time that they learn something else, I grow as well. So the more that I'm able to grow, the more work that I'm able to put together, the more houses that I'm able to get listed on the market, or find new people to come out here. I think it'd be a good idea to always think positively about that. There's so many negative things that happen in our world right now, and I just want to be one of those people that is objectively there to help people. I'm not in here to say my opinion always. Everybody has their own opinion, but my job is to be objective. As a real estate agent, we are taught through our courses that we have to take, because we have to take continuing education courses, that we cannot discriminate against anybody for any reason. And that's kind of how the world works anymore. You can discriminate all you want, but if you want business, you're not allowed to. You're supposed to be working hard to sell houses, to get the deals done. You're not supposed to be objectifying people and just saying, oh, well, you obviously can't buy a house, you can't do that. No, do the information, send them to a lender, help them out. If they need credit repair, boom, find a good lender that can help them. Talk with local banks about what programs that they use. Do a bunch of research on your communities and figure out what you can do to get everybody a place to live. Because at the end of the day, that is still the American dream, is to have your own stuff. You want to be able to drive your own cars. You want to be able to own your own house. You want to be able to live your life the way that you want. And I am 100% for everybody living the life the way they want. It's totally fine. You can do what you want and still be happy. Everybody deserves the right to be happy. And that's the end all goal in a lot of situations that I come up in real estate. Another question I might ask somebody is, how do you try to take care of people beyond your transaction? This is my giving back to my community. Outside of being available for phone calls or, donating goods, donating clothes, like stuff like that. I want to give back to everybody. I want to be able to sit here and, maybe once a year work on transactions, for lower than normal prices. I want to be able to help people out. I want to be able to help them find something. And outside of the transaction, I want to be their friend. I want to be able to be a resource for them to call. You need a plumber at 5 o'clock in the morning because your pipes broke? I know a guy. I want to be able to talk to people about how we're going to be moving forward in our communities. I want to be a part of the action when we're at hometown days or Bennett days or buyers day, stuff like that. I want to be able to have people recognize that I'm not just here for real estate. I'm here to help them as well. One of the other questions that I've got a whole list of questions, so I'm just going down a couple of them. These interviews are made to last anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes, with sections where I can take tours of companies or have them, walk me through what's going on. I don't plan on making these podcasts last more than 30 minutes. It's short, easy to absorb content and stuff that people can, listen to while they're driving. Another thing that I, might ask people about is, what's something about our communities that makes you proud to be here? And if somebody says they're not proud to be here, that's totally fine. I can completely understand that, life isn't perfect. Things aren't easy. Sometimes, you get customers who are not exactly happy with you, and it makes things harder. There's a lot of internet warriors that, they fight for no reason. We've had people come and leave nasty comments on stuff, or that leave Google reviews that have been negative and stuff like that when we've never even dealt with them before. There's just people out there that just want to cause havoc, and I want to bring more light to our community. So something that makes me proud about our community is that we're willing to help each other. There's a lot of people out here that it doesn't matter where you're from, what you've done, they're willing to help you. There's people that'll pull over on the side of the road and pull you out the mud. There's people that'll help you shovel your sidewalks and stuff like that, or shovel your driveways. There's tons of people that are willing to reciprocate feelings to you and be there for you. I don't want anybody to feel alone. I don't want anybody to feel left out. And that's why one reason I'm doing this podcast, another reason why I'm doing this podcast is to have some, if anybody needs to reach out, there's always somebody available. And there's helplines, there's nurses, there's so many people in our communities that they can give help. And that's one thing that I'm really proud about our communities, is that we haven't given up on each other yet. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you're doing, we haven't given up on anybody yet. Another question that I'm, just going down the list here is, if someone's never been here before, what would you want them to know? I would want them to know that this is not the city. We have a lot of neighborhoods out here where it feels like you're in a city. It feels like you're in Aurora. It feels like you're in, Thornton, where the houses are all bunched up next to each other, because we've got a lot of builders coming out here, building tons and tons of houses. But we're not the city. We don't want to end up in a situation where everybody's hating each other, everybody's hurting each other. The neighborhoods don't feel safe. We're out in the country. Get some air, stay out of the smog of the city for a little bit. If you want to drive into, a 20-30 minute drive to go into work every day, that's what we're here for. Take some time to decompress on that ride out. We have unity out here that's not matched in the city. We're able to come together and live happy, use our resources that are out here. You know, we've got King Supers and stuff like that in Bennett, and there's more stores coming. There's fast food places coming out here. It's going to be awesome. It's going to feel so great for younger generations because they're not going to have to miss out on some of the things that like people in the city are, you know, living day-to-day life. Ooh, let's just go down to McDonald's, you know. We've got so many different things that are out here and still more to come, that now is the time to be a part of the community, because it's only going to grow and we're only going to become stronger. So this episode of the podcast is already at about 15 and a half minutes. I'm hoping that with my goal, it can reach out to you guys and we can all come together. You know, give me your business, reach out to me. You guys can find me online. You can find me on Facebook. The goal again is to bring everybody together. It's to introduce your company to the neighborhoods, to the community, to the I-70 corridor. It's to, you know, bring more people out here. You know, let me help them find a house. Or if you've got a family member that's not even from out here that has a business in Aurora that works out here, you know, tell them to give me a call. Reach out to me on the Lybarger Team, LYBARGERTEAM @gmail.com. Reach out to me. Ask me if you guys can schedule an interview. You know, let's get as many things that we can, and I'm willing to expand this out past just our I-70 corridor. I'm willing to bring my stuff to wherever I need to go in order to get some additional information from people, additional work, additional lessons. I love learning from different contractors and stuff like that about, you know, what's the craziest thing that you've done, or what's your next plan? Do you want to grow? Are you okay with staying as a small company, or do you want to be a big company? You know, how are you guys doing? Do you guys need more business? Do you guys need more love? What do you need in order to succeed? And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of everybody's success so that we can all grow stronger together. Again, I'm Chad Lybarger with the Lybarger Team at RE/MAX Full House in Strasburg, Colorado, and this is Real Estate and Real People. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Have a great day.